everybody, AP Goodman here, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday Spotlight. Today I have the magical MK Browning with us. MK, how are you doing today?
I am doing fabulously. Thank you so much for having me on your program. I just love this idea.
Thank you. Oh, I'm super excited to have you. And you're my first fellow YA author that I've had. So, yes, I'm super excited. I love hearing about everyone's genres, but yours is one that I relate to both as a reader and a writer. So, I'm super excited for this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a fairly new genre for me. I've not been doing YA for a very long time. I've done just a tidbit here and a tidbit there, but not a whole full-length novel. And I actually created this pen name so that I could switch genres to YA. So it's great. I'm enjoying it very much.
That's so awesome. So your novel is called The Magic Scarf, is that right?
Yes.
And you want to tell us a little bit about that, like the obviously no spoilers, but, just kind of the highlight reel?
Yeah, it's about a 16-year-old girl who is a mage in training, if you will. One of my beta readers called it a coming of mage story, which I just loved, and I've coined that phrase for just about every bit of promotion that I'm going to do. And she actually botches her very first spell. She's trying to reanimate her grandfather, and he only makes it back partially. He's a disembodied voice in a toy Jack-in-the-Box. And so because of that, she ends up having some difficulties arise on the farm where she lives with her grandparents, and her grandmother gets attacked by these large plants. Well, of course, she has to save her grandmother. In order to do that, she has to get griffin tears. The griffin is a very persnickety person, and he won't give her his tears unless she does something for him. So he sends her off on a journey to find his magic scarf that he says has been stolen. But the scarf is not where he says it should be, and now she has to go to a dragon's lair to get to it. So it's very much a quest adventure kind of story where you go off on a journey. It's almost like a travel log. You go here and that's not their place, and you go here and that's not the place. And it's just a lot of fun. It's totally middle grade to YA developed. I don't think that anybody of any age would argue with the delightfulness of the book. It does not have any romance or romantasy elements at all. It is definitely a quest book.
That sounds so interesting. I think the hero's journey is a timeless archetype, right? And I think there's never a spin on it that's boring or slow. Like, it's always kind of captivating, and you're always kind of rooting for the hero, and dragons, right? Everyone loves dragons.
I don't know if you've read Fourth Wing or not, but it is on my TBR, and it is a dragon story, and so, of course, naturally, I'm going to be drawn to it because of that. I love dragon stories, but that's a big YA romantasy. I'll never get used to using that term, but anyway, that's a big one that's out there right now that's very hot.
Yeah, everyone loves Fourth Wing, and the second one just dropped last week, I believe. So it's been super popular.
Yes.
So what kind of drew you to change your genres from what you were writing before to, a middle grade YA fantasy type setting?
Well, for me, it has been very much a journey. I started writing fantasy when I was 16 years old, and I won't tell you how old I am, but trust me, that's a long time ago. And I just did it for fun. I just, played with it, didn't really do anything with it. That whole book that I wrote back then, of course, never went anywhere, never saw the light of day, basically. And then when I started writing again in the early 2000s, after raising my family and having a career, I decided that I wanted to write a mystery. So I set out to write mysteries. So I wrote mysteries. And then I said, let me do some romance. So then I did romances. And then in between those, I did some short stories that were accepted into anthologies. And the last one was for the Florida Writers Association's annual anthology. And the one before that was for a fantasy anthology. And I just started getting this pull to write fantasy. So I started a story thinking, well, you know what? I'm in between books. I don't really have to do anything right now. I could just play with it. Started writing this book, and my goodness, it just took off. And it has been a real journey, and I've loved it. Because I have 19 other books under my other name, I said, I think it might be prudent to try and switch names and switch genres and try and, balance the two rather than the crossover effect, which might potentially happen. And so that's why I created my whole new persona.
I think that that's so brave of you. And, I think as an author myself, kind of following your heart and where you're pulled to, like you said, I think that's where our best work comes from, because sometimes we know things that we don't even know we know. And so just trusting that instinct and that gut feeling and, just being brave enough to try something new, because sometimes that can be scary, especially if, you feel established and, confident in how you're writing one thing and then trying something new, right, different genre, different audience. Maybe it takes a while to build that confidence, so it can be kind of jarring, even if it's something that you're really confident in about yourself and you really like about yourself and, is part of you.
I have really enjoyed all of the books that I have written. I really have, and I think I've learned something from the writing of each and every one of them. And the most important thing that I could share with others is, especially for young writers, is you grow. Oh my gosh, you grow so much as a writer with every book you write, every word that you pen or type, whatever. You just grow so much. This was my 20th book, Magic Scarf, and honestly, I believe that my books are just getting better as I go. I'm currently about halfway or a little less than halfway into the second book in this series, and it's even better. It's going so well, and I'm enjoying it so much. And I think that that is the most important thing. If you had to give anybody advice, that would be my advice, is for crying out loud, enjoy the journey. If it's not giving you joy, don't do it. It's not worth it. Because there's not fame and fortune always going to be attached to that effort. Now, some people, yes, but some people, no. I'm not particularly one of those fame and fortune kind of people, but I do it for the joy of it. I do it for the love of it. It's just something I can't not do. I have tried. I have tried not to write, and it did not work for me, so good luck if that's what your plans are, fellows.
I think those are words to live by right there. Those are such good pearls of wisdom of, do what you love. And, I agree, the fame and fortune thing, I think as an indie author, a large majority of us, right, do not have that, certainly when we're starting out as well, right, because it's riskier to go with an indie author, especially on their first book, than maybe on their 20th, But there are a lot of things money can't buy, and the pleasure of doing something you love and just being engulfed by your passion is something that you can't buy it. That's not monetary.
And I really believe in creative endeavors. Creative endeavors are so important. It's important because it enriches us as individuals, and it's important because we are putting out into the world something that has never existed before. It makes it metaphysical almost. When we create something, put it out into the world, it's never been out there before, and now it exists. And I have grandchildren. I'm not telling you my age. But I have grandchildren now, and so this is one of my legacies I'm leaving behind. It's for my grandchildren coming along, who I hope and pray will always be good readers. And so, we just have to exhibit that creativity every chance we get. It fulfills us in some way. That's my belief.
I think I'm on the same page as you, and I think that it's really special. And I love that we're on the same page and we write the same genre. And I don't have grandkids, but I have a kiddo that's probably just slightly older than your grandkids. So I get it, right? It's giving a piece of yourself to the world, but to them specifically, especially in dedications and things like that. Oh, I love it. I love it. So I know you said you're about halfway through on the second book. Do you have any other, promotions or events, things like that coming up?
I do. I will be running a promotion through Written Word Media in the month of December. They'll be promoting it, actually. I will probably do a little of my own, but they're very good about putting out all the advertisement and promotions for it. So that'll happen in December. This weekend, I'm going to be at the Sunrise Flea Market in Lake Welch, Florida. And I have a nice tent and a table set up right next to the Book Lover store, which is our little bookstore at the flea market. And I'm really excited about it because this is my first local, regional kind of event that was not where a lot of my cohorts gather. My first event was more like a book launch, and all of my friends and family were there. But this one is different because it's more open to the general public, and so I'm excited to see how well I do and how much interest is shown and how many people stop by. It's going to be delightful weather, and I really anticipate a big crowd. So if you're planning on going to the flea market in Lake Welch this Saturday, come see me.
That sounds awesome. I'm so excited for you to have, your first public event. I think that I think the Magic Scarf will be received really well. You should plan like a scarf or something to wear.
But do I ever have something to show you? I just bought this. Isn't this delightful? YA fantasy authors are drooling right now, I know. I'll be wearing this. So look for the lady with the dragon necklace.
I love it. I think that'll be a good talking point too, right? Sometimes it's easier to start a conversation with someone you don't know when you can see something and be like, oh my gosh, that necklace is so cute. Those earrings are so cute, whatever it may be.
Yes. Where'd you get that? That's what I'm probably going to hear. Where did you get that?
I love it. And so if people do want to follow, your events, see where you're at, see if book 2 of the Magic Scarf is out, where's the best place to find information about you and your writing?
You can go to mkbrowning.com. That is my website, and all of the information is listed there. I have an events page that tells you when I'm going to be at certain places and certain times and so forth. I also have a blog I post once a week, too. I have a newsletter you can sign up for, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you will get a short story that happens just before the Magic Scarf opens. It has to do with the tail of the scarf, and I mean T-A-L-E, not T-A-I-L. And I am on Facebook. Let me go through the list. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Trobber, Threads, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel, a TikTok, and I think that's it. And that's enough.
And that is enough.
If you look up MK Browning author or author MK Browning on any of your social media sites, I will very likely show up.
That's so great. I've really enjoyed having you with me today, MK Browning, and it was so nice to meet you. I know that we've chatted online a couple times, through various posts and stuff, so it was so nice to put a face to a name.
It was great meeting you. I'm telling you, I just love it when I get face-to-face with people that I know online, because now you have a face with that name, and when they post something and you interact, it's like you're interacting with somebody you know. So love it. Just love it. And thank you so much for having me on your show today. I love it. It's just fantastic. And anytime you want me to come back, just yell.
Perfect. Sounds great. All right. Well, thank you for everyone who was able to stop by and watch this weekend. Definitely check out the Magic Scarf and MK Browning on all of the social medias. And I hope that we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.